Hello curl friends, welcome back to the Frizzandfrillzz channel. If you're new here, my name is Chloe. I'm here to help you with all things curls, tips, tricks, tutorials, you name it, I got you. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss any of my tutorials moving forward. Today we are going to be talking about heat protection, okay? How do we make sure we keep our curls intact and healthy against heat? In my opinion, there are three main ways to do this. Some are proactive, some are reactive, so let's chat about it. As a heads up, today's video is sponsored by Curlsmith, and we do have some amazing new products to talk about from them, so that is one of the things that we are going to be majorly getting into today as well. The first of the three things that you should be doing is using a heat protectant spray. A heat protectant spray is gonna be a very big portion of protecting each of your follicles from that heat, whether you are using a flat iron or something like that, but especially when you are using even a hair dryer. Now, the one that Curlsmith recently just launched is their Miracle Shield. I'm gonna show that to you guys real quick here. This is truly a miracle. It does protect not only against heat, but a lot of other things that are really harsh in our climate, such as seawater, chlorine, UV rays, so that we don't have fading. All those things, this is going to help with. Now, I'm gonna show you guys here shortly how I apply this, how you should apply it, in what order you should apply it in your routine, all of the above. But one of the main things we should talk about here is that they are using a vegan thermal shield. Pretty cool. What does that mean? So basically what the vegan thermal shield is doing is it's basically mimicking what keratin would do to help bring that thermal protection to your curls. Now, as you can see, this is purple, okay? What purple means, if you've seen any of my other Curlsmith videos, is that means it is part of their strength line, and I think the mailman is here. But basically that is a part of their strength line, and with that comes protein. So this is going to add a little bit of protein to your mix. Number two, for stopping that heat damage in its tracks, is what hair dryer you use. Now, there are a lot of hair dryers, as you know, on the market. Now, there's a new one coming into the mix, and that is this one right here. Now, I'm gonna show you as I'm going through the drying process what this is like to use and some key factors that I really love about it. So stay tuned for that. But like, look how big it is. It is crazy. It's really a beautiful hair dryer. We're gonna get further into this. I can't wait to share it. Now, this one is coming in at, I think, $189 if I'm not mistaken, which in like the luxury hair care, hair dryer field, I would say that's pretty comparable to what's in the mix, if not on the lower end for price range, which is awesome. When you're thinking about a hair dryer, you really want to make sure that number one, it has some key components to keeping your hair healthy. Number one, it has a good cool shot function so that you're not getting too many hot spots and keeping it all in one place. So I really like that this one does have a low function setting. It's actually right up here. And that one is actually really a long-term cool shot effect. It doesn't have any real heat to note from my experience. They're also using something called ionizing diffusion technology. What that's gonna help do is it's going to help smooth down the cuticle, which is really imperative if you know what heat damage normally looks like. It's basically doing a lot of this, and I'll put up a picture of here of what that would look like if you were to like zoom in on the cuticle. Along with that, that's gonna help boost shine, and it's gonna help eliminate dehydration, which a lot of times causes major frizz and static. Now, the third piece to this mix, and I've talked about this, I don't know how many times because I am a bottled blonde, I get highlights, and I really do have to do some after damage control, and that comes in on the Bond Curl Salve. Now, this product is seriously such a dream for me. I adore it. I cannot explain how much I love this. This is going to be a pre-wash treatment. You're going to have this on your head anywhere between 15 minutes and an hour. You could technically leave it longer, but normally 15 minutes is the key for me, and I love it. So it's going to help really bring those bonds in your hair back to where you want them after you've caused the damage. Now, those two before, those are helping on the proactive side. This is helping on the reactive side. This is gonna help with highlights, it's gonna help with color damage, it's gonna help with heat damage, all of the above. This is going to help bring those bonds back to their former glory. Now that we kind of got into what those three main factors are for making sure we stop the heat damage in its tracks, I'm gonna go back to prior Chloe with wet hair and walk you through how I like to use the new Miracle Shield and the new hair dryer. Okay, now that we have talked about step one, step two is going to be where we bring in Miracle Shield, which we've already talked a little bit about, but let's go in a little bit deeper. Now, when we're using this new Miracle Shield from Curlsmith, one of the key things is that you use this after your leave-in and then before the rest of your stylers. I love the way this sprays in. It's such a soft spray. So this spray is really basically an all-in-one damage-free type scenario. It really is a Miracle Shield. So what this is going to protect us against is obviously the heat damage, which is the huge portion of what we're talking about in today's video, but it also protects against a lot more than just heat. So this can also protect against UV rays, chlorine, seawater. A lot of times, if you are a person who loves to get your hair colored or highlighted, mainly from the color side, you might deal with color fading. So this is going to help against that if you do go into the pool a lot, if you like going into the ocean, especially if you're traveling. This is going to be a major thing. I don't think I'll ever travel without this now, knowing that I can protect my hair against pretty much all of the environmental things. As I am finishing up here, one of the things that, fun fact, you might not already know, is that curls are actually significantly more susceptible to damage. Because our curls are more likely to be extremely dry, they're a lot more susceptible to not only the dryness, but to breakage, to brittleness, to all those things that can actually make damage significantly worse than it would be on straight hair, unfortunately. Therefore, it is a lot more important for us curlies to make sure we are using a heat protectant spray like Miracle Shield. This goes in after leave-in, but before the rest of your stylers. So I'm gonna go through, finish that up, and I will be right back, and we're gonna go through the drying process, and I'm gonna tell you more about Curlsmith's new dryer. Okay, we are officially done applying products and styling. I went through and finger coiled like I normally do. If you have not seen the way I would normally finger coil, I am going to make sure I link that video and full tutorial for you down below in the description. Today, just so you know what I used for styling, before I used the Miracle Shield, I went through and added some oil and cream. This is one of my favorite leave-in curl cream type deals. And then I did a mix of the Souffle, which is one of my all-time favorites as well, and then the Shine Gel, which is a level 9 hold. So I love this too, and I really like these together because sometimes I don't want as intense of a hold as this does, but sometimes, especially if it's humid or it's raining, this isn't gonna quite cut it either. So these two play really nicely together. Now to the new hair dryer. Let's welcome the biggest diffuser I've ever seen in my entire life, the Diffusion hair dryer from Curlsmith. At least I think that's how you say it. I'm not really sure. It's Diffusion or Diffusion? I don't really know. Look how big this diffuser is. It is bigger than my face. It is so large and in charge. It's actually pretty nice and snug on there, which I really appreciate. Some diffusers are very easily popped off and it drives me crazy. So I like that this one is nice and snug. And if you can see here, all the different holes, there's a really nice diffusion of air throughout the entire diffuser, and it's really large. You can get some really nice diffusing, whether it's hover diffusing, pixie diffusing. I'm more of a pixie diffuser because I like to keep it really nice, high and tight, because I like that really intense curl pattern. I want my curl pattern to be really nice and shrunk up a little bit, not more so much stretched down. So this is really nice for that. Also, one of the things I am going to point out, I know a lot of you struggle with some of the previous hair dryers that I have shown on this channel, is them getting too hot. This one, I have to say, I do not think you're going to have that issue. Reason being is while yes, there is a cool button right here, but there's also a low, medium, high heat. All those are similar things to other hair dryers. One of the things that I personally have noticed is that on the low setting, it's like no heat whatsoever. None at all. So I really feel like you get the chance to have a nice cool shot for a longer period of time without having to hold down the cool shot button. My favorite way to use this dryer is to go in with medium heat and high airflow. So that's what I'm gonna be using today. And as I go through, we will go through a little bit more in detail about why this dryer is a phenomenal one. One thing I really want to point out here is while I am bringing my hair into the diffuser, not only am I getting air right in the center like you normally would with a diffuser, I am feeling airflow up here and I'm feeling airflow down here. And it's really nice and even. So I think that's really beautiful for increasing drying time. Another thing to note is that you'll see these little prongs, okay? You see these prongs on the back of here. You can see, there you go. That's a little bit easier to see. So these prongs right here are super, super nice because what you can do is you can be hands-free. I'll show this in another clip here, but as I put this down, but you can see that it will hold up on its own. So if you want to put your hair down on it like this, you can do that, which is actually really helpful for those of us who have extremely long dry times. Okay, I am going to finish up the last half probably of drying and I will be right back with the finished results. And we are back, fully dried, fully styled, and looking fabulous. Honestly, I am super happy with this. And this dryer, it actually dries faster than I would have thought it would dry, in all honesty. I have very thick hair. I have very porous hair, which does help a little bit with dry time, but it's just very thick, very dense. There's a lot of it. And it normally takes me with any dryer that hasn't been like, you know, your basically like your Dyson, it takes like an hour almost to dry, which is just painful. And this one I would say was probably about 35 minutes. So I wouldn't say it's like the fastest, but it's pretty dang good. I'm gonna make sure that I have all the links to everything that we discussed today down below in the description, and definitely make sure that you use code Chloe10 on any of your styling products, including the new Miracle Shield. Super exciting. That thing is gonna be coming everywhere with me on every single travel experience now. And if you have any questions, concerns, comments, please let me know down in the comments section. And y'all, until next time, I will see you then. Bye.